The guys should come and strut. You know, I'm not strutting for no one. That's so random. Anyway, hi everyone. So I thought I'd do a video today talking about my singlehood or singleness because, well, I think I've never touched on it before. So I guess if you guys didn't know, I'm actually single. And I don't know exactly what I wanted to say about my singlehood or my singleness, but I thought I'd just kind of like share it with you guys and just share why I'm single and even like my experiences as a single woman. Now that I am 24, so I've definitely like officially hit my mid-20s, so to speak, I feel like singlehood or singleness is become more of like a big thing rather than a couple of years ago. And people make a massive deal out of being single. Singlehood has a really bad stigma attached to it. It feels like being single is like a death sentence, and that kind of forever alone thing is like a massive deal. Like if you're single, like, oh, your life's not going well for you, oh, nobody loves you, oh, you can't do anything without somebody by your side. And obviously those things are just not true. I suppose I've never said this before actually either, but I have actually always been single, so I don't even know how to talk about this in a sense of being single outside of a relationship or being single after a relationship, because the truth is I've never had a relationship, and that may shock a lot of you also. This is just my life. I can't even compare it to another life because I've always been single, so I don't really know how to measure up to being in a relationship, so to speak. So I guess I can only speak about it from what I've seen from my friends and the people around me, and just being like 24 and observing things throughout my 24 years on this planet. I personally feel like being single is not a massive deal at all. There are so many people that are single for different reasons, people that just have never been in relationships like me, people that have been separated, divorced, their partners have died. So it's not like, you know, being single, you are the only one on this planet. And I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands of men and women out there looking for their lifelong partner, somebody who they want to be in a relationship with. In life, we kind of always want what we don't have, and we're kind of rushing too much. And for me right now in my life, like, obviously lots of things are going on. Obviously I'm in this new place, this new flat. Obviously I have my job, that kind of stuff. So those things, they keep me busy. Those things, they keep me going. I enjoy them. Obviously I have my faith, which is a massive part of being who I am, and definitely a part of my singlehood or my singleness. And I feel like having God is definitely fills a hole, but I don't really know how it feels to be in a relationship. But then I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything because I have God and I'm trying my relationship with Him first. So actually I am in a relationship. I'm in a relationship with God. This video might be a bit rambly, but I feel like for me, singlehood is not a death sentence, and being single is fun and has so many perks. I'll just quickly go over a basis of like my life and give you my life story if you are interested to hear about that. I'm not somebody who went to school or whatever hoping to be in a relationship. I've never kind of thought, oh, okay, now is the time to find a guy and get serious with him and that kind of stuff. I've just kind of gone through my life and done what I need to do. Things have happened, some things haven't. I've just kind of got on with it. You know, obviously I went to school to study. I wasn't at school looking for boys or looking for interest from them. If I got attention, great, that's cool. If not, it didn't really bother me. And I think that the major thing is knowing that when you see it happening around you, I think that's when you start to feel a bit like, what's going on here? Should this be happening to me? Or why is it that I am somebody who's not getting attention or not in a relationship? There was a point where all of my friends had boyfriends, or all of my friends were in relationships, and I was like the only one who wasn't in one. So I think it was just kind of seeing them. I think that's kind of when I felt a bit like, oh, okay, so I feel different because I see everybody else in one. But I feel that's kind of life. I feel like life does that to you, that you can continue to compare yourself to every other person, and that's when you start to feel neglected, and that's when you start to feel a bit weird because you're looking at other people thinking, well, should that be my life? But actually, no. And I feel like life teaches you that you should actually just look at what you're doing and stay in your own lane. And why would I want to be in a relationship just because my friends are in one? My friends may be mature enough. They may be, you know, ready enough. I may not be at that stage yet. So I felt I mean, it was kind of pressurizing because obviously as we got older and my friends got older, we started to mature. We started to talk about like girly things and like crushes and that kind of stuff. You started to feel a bit like, oh, okay, this is all part of life. This is part of growing up. Obviously, you know, comes a time when it would be great to be in a relationship. But then, I don't know, like it just, at school, it didn't really bother me that much. Because I just felt like, well, I'm just doing me. I'm just doing what I can do. And those kind of things will come when they come. For me, being in a relationship is actually about eventually going to marriage and not just going into a relationship just because you can be in a relationship. That's very different. Obviously, everyone has different views about that. But for me, being in a relationship is about staying in a relationship and getting married. So I don't see hooking up as something that I want to do. To me, that's pointless. And I really am not down for that. Like, my life is too short to be going from here, there and everywhere. And as I said before, being a Christian, there's actually not just a physical side of relationship, there's a spiritual side as well. And I don't want to get into that in this video because there's just so much to talk about. But I know that it's just deeper. It's a lot deeper than we all think. And it's not just about physical attraction. I think that's kind of the thing that in society I feel like that's all we ever talk about. It's about like if people look good, if they smell good, if they like what you like, if they do what you do, if they agree with what you agree with, that's it, you're compatible. But there's more to it than that. Yeah, I'm quite a quiet person, so I won't say much. I'll be that person that's kind of on the fence about things, kind of in the background, checking out, saying, okay, you know, not obviously like criticising in a kind of negative way, just kind of looking and wondering what's going on, because I'm just like that. I like to be observant. I like to kind of just watch and see what happens with stuff. And from what I observed at school, particularly like through like the last kind of years, obviously when you're older, like 16, 17, 18, a lot of these relationships would just kind of begin. People go through like them, like, gosh, you know, so many at a time, and people would just be upset. And it would just amaze me that people would like want to just be in a relationship and then just to fall out and be upset. And then a lot of like, I feel like a lot of my friends were in relationships and then they fell apart and there would be a mess, and they'd come like to me and other friends and say, oh, it didn't work out, and it would just, to me, relationships just felt like an actual effort, and it just felt like it felt, from what I could see, it just feels like a drain. What's the point? Like, what are we trying to achieve here? You don't know who you are yet. Like, you don't know, you've not seen the world, you know, you're still growing, you're still like almost like a baby. You've not like, you don't, I don't know, like, it's just, to me, it just felt like we were running into stuff too quickly, and we just want to rush. We just want to grow up too quickly. We want to be like 18, we want to be 21, we want to be 30. And it's like those things will come. But right now, is that really a priority in your life, to be in a relationship and like, you know, try and do like 100 things at once? You're studying, you're growing up to become who you want to be. You're trying to juggle like having a relationship with this guy or this girl that sometimes messes you about. Like, it just kind of felt like, what's the point? Just let it go, leave it, you know, those things will come. In all honesty, nobody approached me at school, nobody asked me out, nobody like gave me any attention. So I didn't even have the pressures of people jumping on my back, asking me out and stuff like that. So maybe I was kind of fortunate in that way. Another thing that I think I've realised over the years is that for me, if you're going to get into a relationship, I feel like you need to sort your stuff out first before you jump into somebody else's stuff. Because if you're not sorted out first and you don't know who you are, why are you trying to hook up with somebody who doesn't know who they are either? You're just going to be one big mess. So it's kind of like two separate parts coming together, and you're just going to be one massive like, even right now, like, I'm still sorting out my stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing in my life, in a way, to be honest. I'm just going through the motions. I'm taking every day as it comes. Why? I just feel like I'm just in, I make mistakes, obviously. I just feel like I'm just in a place where I'm trying to find out who I am and trying to think about what I need to be doing. So to try and drag somebody else into my problems and just like offload on them, and then we just become this massive mess, doesn't make sense to me. So I've just kind of seen it like that. Like, there's no point being in a relationship when you know that you're a mess, and you know, you just need to get your stuff together, and you're trying to get with somebody else who doesn't know who they are and is a mess as well. Yeah, it's not pretty. And again, like I said, from observations, it just never worked out. Like, at that stage of life, being in school and whatnot, that was kind of 99% of the relationships, everybody didn't know what they were doing, didn't know who they are, didn't know who they were. Everybody was, you know, in a place of insecurity. You know, girls were going through body image issues and all sorts like that. Guys, you know, I don't even know. Like, as I said, I don't know. I don't understand the guys' world and the way that guys think, to be honest. Like, I don't know. What do guys think? I sometimes felt a bit like, oh, these dudes, they're very strange. They're another level of strangeness. Like, I just couldn't figure them out. I mean, girls have got their problems, but guys, they've got a whole level of strangeness going on. I mean, even now I still feel like I'm not like the most attractive person in the world. And maybe a part of that was to do with my low self-esteem. Like, obviously, I said before, I am very shy. I'm still quite shy. And being around people, it's not really my scene. I'm not really somebody who likes to be in the middle. I don't like the centre of attention stuff. I, again, said I'm very observant. I like to be in the background. So that kind of, like, if someone was to approach me, I probably would be freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do right now. What do I say? Like, even now, sometimes when people approach me about things, I feel like I go into a place of like spaciness. Like, I just can't think. I can't say anything. I feel like I'm socially awkward about everything. So it's really hard for me. And so in a way, maybe it was alright that I wasn't approached by any guy in school, because I'm just very awkward about stuff. So yeah, having a twin sister is weird, because I feel like obviously at school we looked alike, and we still kind of look alike, but at school I feel like we looked more alike. And there was this one time that my sister got asked out by this guy. Obviously she basically said no, which I was like, haha, shame. Okay. No, did she say no or yes? I can't remember if she said no or yes. But I swear she said no to him, and I was like, high five, girl, you don't need that, boy. Walk away, walk away. Not to be rude, but he kind of asked every girl out. So I felt like, you know, I felt like he was mistreating my sister by trying to ask her out and being like, oh, you should have me because everybody wants me. And I was like, you're not that good anyway. My sister does not need you. So I think when she said no, I was like, oh yes, she knows what she's doing. She don't need no boy. So I was quite happy with her. Okay, this guy, I don't know him very well. I think he was in my sister's classes. But I was a bit like, why? How come he's asked her out? Because we're basically the same person. This is what I was thinking. Obviously, that's not real, but that's not true. But I was like, I felt slightly like rejected, because I was a bit like, oh, so what makes my sister different from me? Where we look the same, that kind of thing. So like we were more or less the same. Our personalities quite similar. She's a little bit more outgoing than me, I'd say. But I think in that moment, that's when it kind of like got to me, because I think it was like we were obviously about, I don't know, 17 or so. So we were getting to that older stage of school. And it did get to me, and I remember kind of someone saying, oh, he's probably just chosen like your sister because of her personality, like you guys are different, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to her. And I felt like, oh, that's actually quite a true statement, because we are not joined at the hip. Me and my sister are not the same person, so I should obviously just get over myself and stop feeling and thinking like that. She is my twin, yes, we look the same, but actually deep down inside we are not the same person. Just because it happened to my sister, that's when I started to question my singleness, and I felt like, oh, so how comes, like, where's my, like, what happened to mine? You know, where's this going for me? So I feel like, yeah, a lot of my life has been about comparison. It's only when I compare, that's when I become unhappy with my current status of singlehood. So I feel like, for me, if I didn't have to look at anybody else's relationship, if I didn't have to compare myself to anything else on this planet, I would be happy where I am. And I wouldn't question anything. I wouldn't question God. I wouldn't question the fact that nobody's approached me. I would just be happy and think, you know what, the time will come, and when the time is right and I'm ready, and I'm mature enough to handle a relationship and go into marriage, then it will happen. And I just need to trust in God, who should be my first relationship, to help me through. And to be honest, I've not actually been praying or requesting anything about marriage. I shouldn't really just expect a guy to land on my doorstep and be like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to get together, because that would be really, really weird. Oh, fun little story here. Just inject a little story. You know, we've got 7 minutes, I'll quickly get through it. Did you know, fun fact, I actually have been proposed to. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, I actually have said I've never been in a relationship, which is true, you know, that kind of thing. And I actually did say I've never been asked out, but I have been proposed to, which is the oddest thing, because you can't really, I mean, I feel like, how can you propose somebody and not ask them out first and not get to know them? Fun fact, it happened, guys, and it was a true proposal. I'm not lying to you. Honestly, I have been proposed to. The story is a long one, but let's just say that obviously nothing became of the proposal, and of course I rejected the dude because I just thought, you are crazy. You need to go reevaluate your life. You know, go away and think about, you know, what you want from your life, because this is not happening. Is this what guys do? Because I just generally was so confused. It was the most weirdest situation. I feel like even now it's a story that I want to tell my kids in the future and be like, you know what? Sometimes stuff happens to you, so you can just get perspective on your own life and be like, thank God, you know, that sometimes I'm single, because this stuff is just weird. You know, it's weird. But maybe that guy, you know, at that stage of his, I mean, I think he's grown up now, but at that stage in his life, he was just weird. You know, he just had some strange ideas about relationships and coming, you know, and approaching girls all together. So that was just him at that point in his life. Safe to say, and it's good to say, I think, that he has recovered himself, and he's definitely a lot more grounded right now. So yeah, that's a good report. But back then, this was like when I was about 20, 21. Yeah, it was strange. Like my only experience of being in a relationship or being around a guy or having some kind of like closeness with a guy. So unfortunately, it was a bit weird, a little bit wacky. So it's not like affected me or anything. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, all guys are like weirdos and stuff like that. That's not how I feel. But it's kind of made me feel a bit like wary. Slightly like, okay, I'm not just going to take any old like, you know, any old proposal or anything. I'm not going to be desperate. I'm not going to throw myself at anyone. Nobody's going to throw themselves at me, because I don't do stuff like that. That's not me. I'm not like desperately wanting to get into anything. So I think it's just kind of, it gave me a good old laugh, to be honest. And it's a story to tell, as I'm telling you now, but it was just very odd. So I hope that never happens again. I think the crux of what I'm trying to say, and I feel like I've just rambled this whole entire video, and I don't really know what the purpose of it will be, or maybe it's just talking to you about my feelings and my story and singlehood. I just feel like, you know what, if you're single right now, then really don't despair. It's not the end of the world. If you're feeling like singlehood is a death sentence, it really isn't. If you feel like, why is everybody else getting into relationships and I'm not, then it might just be because your time is not here yet. I think if we just live life positively, if we just enjoy every day as it comes, if we just immerse ourselves with good friends and good contacts, and not, you know, like be like desperately seeking in that kind of way and just go out of our way to be like desperate, I think it will just happen. And right now, two of my really good friends, like one of them is already married and the other one is getting married in 2 weeks or so. Obviously, like them being so close to me, I'm just like amazed at how far they've come, and obviously I'm so happy for them because they're like two of my best friends. We're getting to this stage of like relationships and real, like they're like real godly relationships as well. They're not just any old guy, you know. These girls have sought God in prayer, and they've just absolutely just, they've really dedicated their relationships to God, and that's the most important thing to them, and that's the most important thing for me as well. If I'm looking for anyone, they need to love God first, you know. That's just me, obviously. That's who I am. That's a massive part of my life. I'm just going to trust that the person who walks into my life, who will be with me forever, is the one that God wants me to be with. And when I'm ready, when I feel like I'm ready to start looking for a relationship, I will begin to pray about it and be in a place where I can be open, and be in a place where I could be sought, because, you know, the guy does all the searching, and us girls can just sit back and chill. And, you know, girls just chill. I feel like the girls are the ones that are always trying to jump around. Girls, you know, if you're a girl, just chill, okay? You don't need to be doing the running around. Just don't get all like, you know, it's fine. If we just look at the animal kingdom, do you see any of the animal kingdom, like the women or the females running around? It's the men that come strutting over. You know, we don't need to strut, girls. You know, the guys should come strutting, showing us his stuff. Think about the peacock. It's a male peacock, right? That shows all its feathers and like fluffs up, and the girls just be like, okay, I see what you got, you know. So that's what I always think, like, the guys should come strut. You know, I'm not strutting for no one. That's so random. That's kind of the gist of the video. I really don't know what to make of it, and I don't really know what else to say. I think I just wanted to share with you, you know, some realness, and just tell you and say, you know what, I am single. I have always been single, 24 years old, single, still single, and I'm not bothered at all about it. I hope that you found that helpful, if it's just kind of like a little chat, heart to heart with you guys, whoever you are. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you are new to this channel and you liked that and you want me to do more sort of like one-to-one or heart-to-heart chatty things, then definitely leave me a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section. And if you're not already subscribed, then I would absolutely love if you subscribe to my channel. And also, if you have feedback on this video, or if you want to like question anything I've said, or you want to give some feedback to me, then I'd love to read some of your comments as well on that. Be down if you're single, be happy, and give thanks that you're single, because the day will come when you get married and then you'll wish that you were single again. That's just the way it is.